You're right. They do have options. They have targets that they can hit. But what you said about there being no winners of that game, I have to push back
Oh, your
because
agenda. You have agendas. That's what this
yes,
is about.
I do.
Go
I
ahead.
have an agenda, but also it's football. There's no moral victories and losses. This is football, and you
For
know my Lamar
sure.
Jackson. And, he is my pick for MVP. And I think the reason why, and I know it's not really hot take. When I talked to you about it, I thought it was, but I looked. He's
No,
third
it's not.
in Vegas
Take
for
it
like,
all.
predicted voting. So, but that said, I think that what he does on the field gets massively undersold. I just saw 8-1 against the Bengals too. So you could try to say this is a fluke. He is consistently
It's a fluke. I said that. I said I think the Ravens would have won anyway. I don't think it's a fluke.
absolutely. But I think so. Here's the thing. For much of his career, Lamar Jackson has been critiqued for his ability to be a dual threat. We know that he can use his legs. That's something that he is very great at. But this year, especially, I think his passing is going under the radar. Like right now, he is poised to be the first player in league history to connect on over 70% of his passes and rush for over 500 yards if he continues on the trajectory that he's on this season. His completion rate has spiked. And I know that like his stat lines aren't typically very flashy. So even from last night's win, it was like 264 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, but no interceptions. And I feel like that no interceptions is crucial.
A ho 200.
And people are sleeping on the no interceptions, 121.3 quarterback rating. And the thing is, when we talk about his ability to run, so he had 54 yards last night on his feet. Those weren't, that doesn't seem major, but those extended drives, you know what I mean? Like those yardage on the field, that's significant. I'm getting worked up because I feel like people find ways, they find ways to discount him, and it bothers me. And I think
who's they?
Shall I go there? Shall I go there? Who's they? I mean, here's what I'm gonna say.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm gonna say they is like, to me, mass media, which includes us, like the media, and how they talk about Lamar. But I don't think that's unique to Lamar or specific to him. But I think it's unique to a certain type of quarterback. And so that's Lamar, and that's also Jalen Hurts. So let's bring those MVP odds back up again. Now, obviously, I have bias because I am an Eagles fan, but I also think that what Jalen is doing is going under the radar. So I was happy to finally see him at the top of the MVP odds because, quite frankly, I think Patrick Mahomes is just in this discussion because it's a lifetime achievement career like MVP. I don't think he's having a spectacular season individually by his standards. Obviously, he's great. So it's just like when you look at the numbers, it's like, I mean, he has some turnovers, but I'm just saying. But it's not. I think
he's there because he's got to be there. Nobody's really taken ownership of this MVP race
but no
yet.
one's taking ownership, but he doesn't have to be there. He doesn't have to be there. The Eagles.
I think if no one's made as convincing of a case as they should, then it's like you kind of have to put him in there based on kind of what you said, like the legacy.
Is he ahead of Lamar? What has he done to be ahead of Lamar in the race?
I'm not going to argue with you. You're supporting my agenda.
And Jalen, the Eagles have had the best record all season, but people are just turnovers. You only had this many. Who gives a shit? The most important thing that he had was the W. He had the wins. But they want to attribute the wins to the team around him. Like he's not a part of why they are winning, you know? And he should have had an MVP last year had he not gotten hurt. So I agree that no one has really set themselves apart in this MVP race. So I'll agree with that. But to me, I would have Jalen and Lamar over Patrick, in my opinion. So I feel like part of this is maybe based on assumptions and an expectation about what he's going to do to finish out the season or close out the season. And that he's earned that. He's earned that. But I'm just saying, based on what has happened to this point in the season, he was kind of leading for a minute. I'm glad that there's no more Josh Allen in there, but I'm just saying, I don't think Tua should be that high either. Because quite frankly, like, I mean, I'm not a Tyreek Hill person, so no matter what kind of season he's having, I'm never going to advocate for him. But
are you about to make a Tyreek Hill MVP case?
No, I'm not going to. But people have been making one. But I'm saying that if there is an MVP on that team, it's probably him over Tua. Like, and also their record is like, come on, they don't beat good teams. Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't want them anywhere near the MVP. The only other one that's interesting to me is CJ Stroud, which I think has a nice narrative. It has a nice narrative to it. And so he might move up more in the MVP race, and that's interesting to me. But right now, I'm not really trying to hear anyone but Jalen or Lamar winning MVP, in my opinion. And I like the CJ Stroud in there.
Yeah. I think you mentioned something important, which is the wins. And that's where my agenda gets a little bit concerning. Because right now, Baltimore is tied with the Chiefs for the AFC's top seed. But their schedule ahead is making me a little nervous, but I'm not sure how nervous I should really be. If you look at it, it's Chargers, Jaguars, 49ers. I think that 49ers matchup is going to be that's going to be telling. I think that is going to be the biggest test of that like tough run. But that's where my thing gets a little bit stressful, because to win the MVP, your team needs to do some damage. They need to make their mark in their conference and the league. Like, and so I don't know. They have, what I can say confidently is that they have a 3.5 lead in the AFC North over the Bengals, which is, that's not really saying much. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need
before
more.
The Burrow and Deshaun injuries was definitely the toughest division. So
absolutely.
I mean,
and I think that's another thing
that kind of changes things now, but like up until that point, definitely the toughest division. So that they were sort of at the top of that, I think should be given a little bit more weight.
Yeah, and they're in the standings. I do think, I don't know, just looking now, we talked obviously about Joe Burrow's injury, but like quarterback injuries are affecting this league big time right now. We had Anthony Richardson, Aaron Rodgers, I know I'm forgetting people. There are obviously Deshaun Watson, who you just mentioned, like quarterbacks. Oh, perfect. Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson, Kirk Cousins, Achilles, yes, Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson, who I mentioned, and Aaron Rodgers, the Achilles again.
I like the opportunity that he's getting as a result.
Oh, yes.
Sorry for Kirk Cousins though, but shout out to Josh Dobbs. So no, I really do hate injuries, and sadly, they're a part of the game.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.